So our next showcase will be Jonathan Blackmore, and he'll be looking at a certificate in drones in construction. It's a level 7. This is a brand new program starting in September and possibly in January as well. But Jonathan is a lecturer at the Technological University of Shannon. He's a chartered building surveyor and a drone pilot. His specialities are innovation, technology, learning, supporting, teaching, encouraging, and empowering. A lot of specialities there. So without further ado, Jonathan, I'll let you take over and present the drones in construction.
Thank you, Liz. Can you hear me there okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jonathan Blackmore. I'm a lecturer here at TUS, and I'm just going to discuss a couple of issues that we're going to try and teach this course in September, and just some of the key points. Now, I'm just going to find out, can I share my screen, Liz? Is it possible for me to share?
I can. Yeah, we can see that. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what we're trying to do is anybody could go off and train to be a drone pilot. And this is one of the big issues that we have, is that you can go off and become a drone pilot, but then you've kind of to learn how to use that technology in the construction environment. So this course is aimed at anybody who's interested in drones and construction or measuring or data capture. So that's what we're really looking at here. So it's going to be an evening course again. There's going to be hopefully a second module to this, because and I'll explain this later on. Again, like Paul's, running from 6:30 to 9:30 or 18:30 to 21:30, 1 day a week, one evening a week. And then we hope to have a couple of workshops in the middle of that where you come to Thurles and we get a bit of stick time. And stick time is just another way of saying learning how to drive or learning how to fly. Okay. And we discuss different issues in those workshops to develop familiarity, a little bit of a collegial spirit as well, and also to address some of your other issues that you don't really get to deal with or discuss online in a mass group setting. So there's an opportunity there to have a cup of tea and have a little chat about different things. So what are we looking at doing? Well, the first module is really a theory module. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Now, we will be doing some practical teaching and learning in that, but we'll also be doing a great deal of theory. And the reason being, as a drone pilot myself, we're entering civil aviation. We're getting into the civil aviation area. And it was on the news last night, people that are invading airspace in Dublin Airport and disrupting national and international transport hubs. So the idea of the theory is that we really give you a good grounding in the reasons why you're becoming a pilot. And you are becoming a pilot. You're not just becoming an operator of a piece of equipment. You're becoming a pilot, and you're joining the other pilots in the aviation industry. So there's going to be some theory of flight and practicalities of the drone technology and stuff you need to know. Like, you need to know about your car or your boiler system or your computer or things like that. So we're really going to give you a really good theoretical grounding in aviation, flight, physics, and the electronic components of drones. And in the middle of that, then we're going to do an exam with the IAA, and you're going to get your first license. We're also going to do discuss other ideas in relation to the drones and sort of link the construction industry with the drone training that we're doing. Okay, those workshops will probably be, I'd like to have loads of workshops, but there's probably going to be a limit on that. And I think there's going to be 2 workshops. I'm going to be looking for more, because it's a really good thing to do. So we take you from zero to hero in terms of theory, and then we will also provide you with some free apps, and we'll give you licenses to other apps as well, which we're negotiating at the moment, which will allow you to simulate some of your training. So you'll be able to fly a drone in a digital world, hopefully with some mode 1 or mode 2 controller, so that you actually get a sense of control through the sticks and using your fingers and your thumbs. Like I said, you're going to have an IAA exam in the middle of that and get you off the ground in terms of your first license. We're going to assess you continually. So it's going to be continual assessment with some project work as well. And that's basically what we're looking at. So we're looking at how do you fly, why does it fly, and what can I do once I have it flown. So it's really teaching you the theory of flight, training you around the legal and the legislative constraints that exist there, really hammer into you how you're going to become a professional pilot and take on that role professionally, and not just it's another tool, another skill. And then in module 2, which we hope to run further down the track, we'll actually have you applying the taught flight ideas, and then start talking to you about workflow management in terms of data capture and how to process that with different bits of software and what you can do and achieve. So primarily in construction, all we're used to seeing is lovely videos of construction sites. What I want to do is I want to take that further, 3D volumetric analysis. I want you to look at Pix4D Mapper. I want you to look at how we can use it in terms of environmental, not just construction, and basically broaden your skill base. So you'll come out of this course, these 2 courses, hopefully, not only as a licensed drone pilot, professional aviation expert, but you'll also have these other skills that the other drone pilots don't have and have to acquire later on in their careers, or trying to figure out what route to go, where you are actually an asset to a construction company in terms of remote sensing, gathering and capturing information, processing that information, having a really good concept of workflow, and managing your client's expectations in terms of outputs, and having an output that is a commodity that you can sell and that you can earn a living with. So that's basically what we're talking about. Now, in terms of the screen share that I gave with you, it's just it's a breakdown of what the course is going to involve, or what's going to be involved in the course. So we have the whole, if you like, digital and analog. So what I would say is, like, analog is learning to fly with your fingers, and like you see most remote control people doing, that's analog. The digital aspect of that is where we start to make that aircraft do things autonomously, and we program it to fly predetermined flight paths and gather information in a predetermined and repeatable way. So that's a really important concept, or part of this, is that this whole idea of repeatable flight paths, repeatable data capture, and that allows you in the future to do very, very complex data acquisition and produce very big data for lifespans of projects. So that's the other issue that isn't really mentioned that well in this document, but it'll probably form a huge part of module 2. Okay, so we're talking about competencies and behaviors, teamwork, proactive, professional, confident, capable, and legal. And that's basically what I intend to do with you as a student. In terms of, there's going to be a real burden on you in terms of what you need to learn, because you're going to be learning what most private pilots learn in terms of aviation. So there's aspects of weather, aspects of law, flight dynamics, and various other aspects. And if you're interested in drones, this is going to be no problem to you. It's not going to be like a hassle or a workload. If you're not interested in that kind of stuff, well, then maybe this course isn't for you. Maybe videography or something like that is more suited. But we really have to drum in that professional. You're going to be able to talk, like, professional pilots don't like to admit it, but we operate under the same rules and the same licensing arrangements and the same governance and guidance. So you are becoming a pilot. You might never leave the ground, but you're going to be putting something into the air that will have an impact, if it's not done correctly, on people that are already in the air or people on the ground. So it's really, really serious. It's like learning to drive a truck or any kind of heavy plant. There's a huge burden on us to actually impart that almost responsibility, the severe responsibility that's involved. So I can't really say much more than that. It is going to be theory, but it's going to be sprinkled with applications that you can use in your own time and to gain confidence. And then once we're in the course, we'll discuss what drones to buy, what you can buy without licensing. And I wouldn't go out and buy anything just yet, and I'd wait and see. And if there's enough people on the course, we'll certainly have buying power here in this country. And that might be a good thing too. So again, any questions that you've got in relation to the course, you can certainly chat me on the Zoom call, or contact Liz or Fanula or Paul Vesey. We all work together, and Paul's course would roll out. We could end up rolling out into Paul's course in terms of data capture and topography and land survey maps and all that good stuff as well. So that might be something that myself and Paul might work on in the future, where we get some of my work to go into Paul's work if you're sharing the same course, because they are quite interrelated. So that's really, in a nutshell, what I intend to do. I'm really approachable. I'm approachable I'm approachable in normal hours, but if you want to drop me an email, I'm normally good to get back to an email pretty quick as well. So don't be afraid to ask me questions. And like Paul said, I'm a learner too, and that's why I'm a teacher, because I've had problems learning in the past. I know where all the hurdles are. I've broken them. I've thrown them over my shoulder, and I've had to rebuild them. So it's about continued professional development, and it's about sharing your experiences and making somebody else's opportunities better or and more enhanced through your own experience. So that's where I'm coming from. That's why I've been invited onto DASB, and that's what the main focus of everybody on DASB is really to be a facility for you to develop and improve your skills base and offer more to both your employer, your clients, and the public in general, by doing better construction, more efficient construction, and more circular economy, and more efficiencies and less carbon footprint. So I think I've tried to cover it all there, Liz. Do you think that covers it?